welcome back to another video. I told you there'd be more. Did you believe me? This week we are driving the Jeep Compass Trailhawk. So this is their off-roading, top of the line Compass. And I had plans to go off-roading with this. I was going to take to the Lost City or the Waddingham Mountains and do some proper off-roading like it's supposed to be meant to be doing. But we've had a few birthdays in the family recently, and we're going to be doing a trip up the coast, which I think is fair because that's really the majority of what this will be doing, family trips like that. I can't see doing heaps and heaps of off-roading. This has a bit to live up to as well because I've only recently driven the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and that thing, I really like that thing. I'm going to tell you why in the video as well, but we've got to hit the road. Actually, before we even do that, I thought I'd show you something that's going to suit Aussies down to the ground because it's meant to be another scorcher today, and you get remote start with the Compass Trailhawk. So you can get the air conditioning up to speed before you even hop in the car. You just hit that twice and I hope it's going to work. There you go. So it's already running, the air conditioning's going. So on a hot day like this, you hop in, you're not getting burnt by the steering wheel or the leather seats or the bolt buckles. It's all good and you're good to go. Actually, just quickly before we take off, I thought we'd quickly discuss the interior because it's a little bit of a mixed bag. On face value, when you first hop in, it's quite nice. You've got your red stitching and you've got your leather, faux leather material. You've got soft touch materials around the cabin. On face value, everything looks pretty good. These seats are comfortable. They're electronically adjustable. The only thing is it's sort of let down by maybe some cheaper parts. This kind of rattles, but I will say this rattles, and there's a few plasticky bits, but for the most part everything does feel bolted together pretty well as well. This is kind of an outlier in the bolting together department, but yeah, it's just let down. The blinker stalks a little bit, they're really plasticky, they feel really light, they don't feel that solid. Same as the gear selector, but apart from that, it's pretty good. So yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag, and I mean, things are pretty good in the back here too. I've got a decent amount of room here, and this seat is back further than my driving seat. So I've got a decent amount of room. Headroom, my head's kind of on there, so I suppose, obviously this sunroof eats into the headroom a bit. If you're over 6 foot, you might, I suppose, struggle a little bit, but if they move their seat forward, you can move forward, shift yourself forward a bit. It's not the worst. You got a bit of storage. Where's this thing gone? Oh, there we go. You have cup holders and an armrest, and it's a nice solid armrest too, but I suppose that's because it's the entire middle seat, not just a little flimsy fold down armrest. But I mean, you're not gonna have anyone there anyway, are you? So who cares? Nice solid armrest and cup holders, a USB port, a USB-C port, a 12-volt socket, and you've also got just a normal wall outlet there, so you can plug, I don't know, a microwave in there, anything you kind of want. So yeah, not too bad back here. Apart from maybe the headroom, you're not going to really have any complaints. But the real strength of this interior is the technology, and I'm going to jump in the front to show you that. So technology, actually we might wait for this to stop making its bong noises. Eventually. I think it's done. Alright, so obviously you have this big touchscreen which is really easy to use, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. To be honest, I've just sat it on Android Auto, number one because it's a really clear, crisp screen and it just looks great. And also, I'm actually, on a side note, I'm really liking this update to the Android Auto, but that's beside the point. Apart from that, it's really easy to use, intuitive in its own kind of system as well. Everything's just along the bottom there. Nice, big, easy to use, crisp screen. You've also got wireless phone charging, USB and USB-C port. But the thing that's really impressed me is this driver's display, because number one, it's big, it's a big digital display, but number two, you can configure it however you want. So I know a lot of brands say that, but you have to have certain things on the screen just by default. This you really don't, apart from your fuel and your temperatures. You can have just the speed, and I like that. I don't really need any more of the information until I want to look for it. I just like having a big speed so you can keep an eye on things and make sure you're not speeding. But now we do actually have to hit the road. So let's go. There's plenty of storage here too, actually. I didn't talk about that. You've got door storage, you can fit 2 water bottles in there. This bin, this center bin, is absolutely huge. You can fit easily a bag of chips in there, like a big family-sized bag of chips. Obviously you can store stuff down on your wireless charging bay. And yeah, more door storage over here. So there's a fair amount of storage in the car too. So in terms of power, it's actually pretty brisk. It's got enough power to do everything you're going to need to do, like day to day, even out for driving. You've got enough torque. So the power figures are 125 kilowatts of power, 350 newton meters of torque, and it's an adequate amount of power. Now the ride, it's a bit of a tricky one. It hasn't been too bad. 90% of the time, it hasn't been too bad at all. My only thing is on like some crappier roads, which is obviously going to be the same with every car, but it just feels a little bit too stiff for repaired roads, some potholes. It just doesn't sort itself out as nice as you'd want to. And I mean, after driving the Grand Cherokee, man, that thing was so plush. That just glided over everything. That was such a brilliant ride in that car. But so to come to this, it's no fault of this car having those expectations, of course, but it does just feel a little bit stiffer than perhaps it should be. Like even going over this stuff, it's just, you feel it all. Something I've only just noticed though is like these seats are comfortable, but this headrest is kind of pushing my head forward. It kind of makes you feel like you're slouching. Like the base of the chair is fine, and the back is good. You've got lumbar support and adjustment there, but it just makes it feel a little bit uncomfortable. Sure, I could probably put it up, but I can't do it at the moment. So, yeah. There's a fair bit of safety kit on this too, which is another positive of the Trailhawk. Everything from your blind spot monitors, you've got speed sign recognition, adaptive cruise, everything you really need. My only small gripe is that features like the lane keep assist, it kind of feels like there's someone else, I don't want to say struggling for control, but there's someone else just kind of trying to manipulate. It's constantly tugging. It's not just kind of one and then you're back in the center and you're going. It's just kind of constantly tugging at the wheel and making little small corrections. It makes you feel like that you're only 95% in control of the car. I had one or two issues with the braking as well, not anything major, just being a little bit too aggressive, or the sensors perhaps being a little bit too sensitive and picking things up, whether it's something on the side of the road or a bend, whatever it might be. But apart from that, you really can't knock the kit, the safety kit that you get on this. It's pretty comprehensive. This Alpine sound system is pretty cool too. It's part of the optional pack. It comes with the sunroof, the speakers, heated seats, all that. I think it was about $4,100, $4,200. So you get a fair bit for your cash. Yeah, the sunroof alone is quite cool. Alpine sound system. I mean, I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds pretty good. You got a good amount of bass, and the sound's pretty crisp. It's a good sound system, and yeah, I think the option pack, if it was my money, I'd be adding that on. Joining me now from the Central Coast. We made it up here, and I'm just doing a quick run away from everyone to show you guys this place. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the world with some stunning views. And I suppose where I kind of see this car doing most of its work, just on trips like this, whether it's a beach or wherever, international parks, just for the weekend. Nothing too crazy, although it's got the kit on it that allows you to do it. It's kind of a weird one, because this, I suppose, doesn't really have any clear-cut competitors to it. I mean, the Jimny, off the top of my head, the Jimny is kind of it in terms of that off-road ability, but this is nicer inside and nicer on the road and more aerodynamic for just basics. But then your cars like your Mazda CX-5s, they don't have that kind of ruggedness that you'd need if you were going to do off-roading. So it kind of sits in this weird space where it doesn't really have any clear competitors, and that could make it a good car to consider if you want to do the off-road stuff. I worry at $62,000 drive away, you add on your Trailhawk pack, or your advanced pack, whatever it's called, for $4,500, which gives you your sunroof, your heated seats, your Alpine sound system. You're looking at $65,000-$66,000 car, and you're kind of pushing up into the price range of some decent off-road cars there too. Even Jeeps that are offering. So we're here, and it is blowing a gale, so bear with me. I hope you can hear me. Let's see. It's quite windy, and every time I go to talk, it seems to pick up a bit more. Can't hear this, I'm gonna edit it in when I edit the video. So this is the rugged, top of the line Trailhawk, and you can see how it's differentiated. It is quite more rugged looking. You got this decal on the bonnet. You got two recovery hooks here for when you're stuck. Hopefully you won't be, but when you're stuck, you got a skid plate under here. Trail rated badging when you're off the beaten track. Trailhawk badging here and another recovery point. Now, as I said before, I can't see these doing, just can't picture it. I just can't picture this SUV, just the design of it, doing too crazy off-road work. But with that being said, hopefully it comes in on the camera. Like, there's some pretty nasty pinstriping up the side here. So when they did the launch, or when someone's been testing this, it has gone properly off-road, because hopefully you can see that, yeah, just up there, all the way, there's a heap of pinstripes. So they've given it a good crack. The side as well, there's a fair bit of stuff. So let's jump back inside before the wind just blows me away. So I mean, by rights, everything on paper, this thing should be able to go off-road. I mean, as I just said, there's pinstriping up the side where this has, but it's also got a bunch of, you know, terrain modes as well: auto, snow, sand, rock, and you can do full drive locking. It's got hill descent control, but it's also got full drive low, which isn't your traditional low range gearbox and transfer case. Basically, this just locks it into lower gears. But so it's not a full-on 4x4 off-roading setup, but this will come in handy if you're going on the beach or whatever you might be doing in this. It'll come in handy, so it's a nice to have. So my time with the Trailhawk is coming to an end. I'm just about to go and hand back the keys. So I suppose the question is, would I consider this? And yeah, I would. I mean, there's not many competitors in the space, so it's got that going for it. But I think also, if you are going to use it as an off-roader on the weekends and actually go off-roading, then it's a good option, and you should check this out, take it for a test drive, see what you think. There's nicer SUV options on the market, but probably not as capable off-road as this. Make sure to comment and subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more cars coming. I know you didn't believe me that I'll make more videos, but this is living proof. So yeah, subscribe and give me any feedback, what you like and don't like about the videos, so I can keep improving. I'm still you know, getting used to this being on camera thing. So all your feedback is appreciated, and until the next one.